Ubu, or Ubu Roi, is a play written by Alfred Jarry. It was first performed in Paris, which caused riots in the audience as it opened and closed on December 10th, 1896. It was considered a wild and bizarre play, and it was significant as it overturned cultural rules and conventions. It seemed an event of revolutionary importance to the audience witnessing that night. The play has now been seen by some who have opened the door for what became known as modernism in the 20th century. King Ubu is the first of 3 stylized plays in which Jarry shows power, greed, and evil practices. The title of the play, in some cases, translates to King Turd, as the word Ubu is actually just nonsense that evolved from the French pronunciation of the name Herbert, which was the name of one of Jarry's teachers who was the target of inspiration of the first versions of the play. Jarry was very involved when it came to how the play should have been performed. He wanted King Ubu to wear a cardboard horse's head, as he intended the character to be like that famous French puppet show. He thought that someone would enter the stage, as in puppet shows, holding signs indicating to the audience the location of the scene. He also wanted costumes with as little specific accuracy to the colour reference and history as possible. The story at first seems merely frivolous. It is a parody of Shakespeare's Macbeth and aspects of Hamlet and King Lear here and there. With Jarry's rich imagination at work, the play seems to explore something deeper, an inner conscience. Many critics consider Jarry a symbolist author. As the play begins, Ubu leads the revolution and kills the King of Poland and most of the royal family. The ghost of the dead king calls for revenge, which prompts Ubu to start killing the population and taking their money. War is declared between Ubu and Russia. In the meantime, Ubu's wife tries to steal the money that he has stolen and stashed in the palace. Ubu defeats the Russians, and his wife pretends to be the angel Gabriel to try and scare Ubu into forgiving her for the attempt to steal the money from him. The action in the play contains motives found in plays of Shakespeare: a king's murder, a scheming wife, a ghost, a reward, and a bear. It also has cultural references to other plays, such as Oedipus Rex in the play's title. The language in the play is a unique mix of slang, code words, puns, and near-gutter vocabulary, all set to strange speech patterns. According to Jane Taylor, the central character is notorious for his infertile engagement with his world. Ubu inhabits a domain of greedy self-gratification. Jarry's metaphor for the modern man is that he's an anti-hero. Fat, ugly, dishonest, stupid, greedy, cruel, cowardly and evil, who outgrew schoolboy legends about the imaginary life of a hated teacher who had been at one point a slave on a Turkish gallery. King Ubu follows and explores his political and martial exploits. Taylor wrote, "There is a particular kind of pleasure for an audience watching these infantile attacks. Part of the satisfaction arises from the fact that in the burlesque mode which Jarry invents, there is now a place of consequence. While Ubu may be relentless in his political aspirations and brutal in his personal relations, he apparently has no measurable effect upon those who inhabit the farcical world which he creates around himself. He thus acts out our most childish rages and desires in which we seek to gratify ourselves at all cost. As a philosophical term, absurdity describes the lack of responsibleness and coherence in the human existence. As a literary term, absurdity means to have been coined, especially for Pere Ubu. Throughout the play, Pere Ubu appears to be unaware of what is happening around him. Murder, dismemberment, the trampling of townsperson where Pere Ubu disperses gold, none of these atrocities faze Ubu. The character of Pere Ubu is absurd in another way. His reason for living seems to be to kill everyone. His actions that lead up to these killings can be described as irrefutably logical. Logic equals killing everyone.